Well, I just delivered that Dollar General order, and I picked up another one.
The Silver Dasher.
Morning. It is Tuesday. I'm in my car. I'm going to be dashing today. It's a little rainy, so I have to wear a jacket. So I got the app here, so let's go and get started and see what happens. It's thinking. Something, it didn't work. Let's try it again. Okay, that's better. Yes, I have an insulated bag. All right, so we are looking for orders. So, all right, let's get this show on the road. Maybe I get an order when I'm backing up. Oh, look at there. And I'm declining that. $7 for 12 miles? No. I may have been stupid lately, but I'm not that stupid. So anyhow, well, hopefully I get a better offer than that here soon. So, heading to a base. So, see you in a little bit. Well, just as I got it in my driveway, picked up a Chick-fil-A. A lot better, you know, just a little $4 for 2 miles. So, on the Chick-fil-A we go, and then to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Chick-fil-A order to a repeat customer, the young lady that works at the Ford dealership. And, oops, I can't go that way. I'm gonna turn around. I thought I can go out that way, but I can't. So, but just as I was handing out the order to her, got Starbucks. Now it's slightly more dollars a mile. It's, you know, people still gonna be upset, but you don't understand, folks. My market of only 13,000 people, orders are hard to come by, and I'm certainly rejecting the really bad underwater orders, but if they're just slightly over, you know, dollars and stuff like that, I'm going to take it. So, you know, like I said, beggars can't be choosers. So we'll quit being a beggar. Well, try making money in a market where there's only 13,000 people and everything's rural. And so, you know, all my distances are 10 miles or more for most of my deliveries. So, anyhow, I'm just doing the best I can and this is almost a $10 order. So, and in my breakfast dash, if I get 4 orders, you know, because I only work 2 hours, I'm doing pretty good. So, anyway, I'm here at Starbucks, so go and get the order and on to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Starbucks order. I'm in the country. I'm in the middle of the woods in fact, it's almost deliverance country. It's nothing but junkyard lawns and mobile homes and windy roads. A little treacherous drive up there, you know, because it's wet. But as I was taking the picture, the customer came in. It's very nice. In fact, she gave me a $2 extra tip in cash. So I was happy about that. So, you know, she thanked me because she had to get ready for work. But, so, yeah. But there's a mixture of, you know, some cute little houses, but lots, and some big old houses. There's a house with an orange roof. That's something I've never seen before. So, anyhow, but yeah, it's I'm up in the hills. This is the typical delivery for me here in this market. You know, when you have the population of just the city limits 13,000, but most of my deliveries go outside in rural, and you know where we at. You know, we're in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountain chain. In fact, Birmingham. The reason it was named Birmingham because of Birmingham, England, which was a steel-making city. Birmingham, Alabama became a major steel producer. I don't know if there's any steel plants left in Birmingham, but there's still remnants of. In fact, there's a remnants of an old furnace called Sloss Furnace. They now use it as a park and entertainment venue. So anyhow, so yeah, not too bad. You know, it was a $9 trip, but I'm on my way back home to base. So yeah, this is it's a very windy road. So anyhow, back to base I go, and hopefully I pick up another order real soon. So see you in a little bit. Well, I made it back to the Jack's base and been here about 2 minutes, and I picked up a Jack's order. So I'm about to go in the store and then to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered that Jack's order to a repeat customer. I remember that apartment complex, that apartment. Been there, well, I've been this at least the third time I've been there. Folks, it's just miserable. It's wet. It's not rainy, but it's just misty and wet. It's not quite cold. It's, you know, well, now it's 48. It's getting colder, but it's just miserable. I'm glad I got a rain jacket on, but it's just like blech. I guess if we were any colder, it'd be snowing. But yeah, it's just miserable. I guess you know if it's miserable out here, it's good for dashing. So anyhow, I'm gonna head back to Jack's. That's where I'm gonna head back to. Yeah, and this delivery was only 0.2 miles, so didn't go very far. So back to Jack's I go. So hopefully pick up another order. See you in a little bit. Well, after about almost a 45-minute wait, finally got a Starbucks order, and it's slightly higher dollars than miles, but you know, choices are slim, and it's still miserable out here. Oh man. So on to Starbucks and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Starbucks order to one of the local elementary schools, but it's getting colder. It's wet now. It's cold. Just a miserable day. It's just wet and cold, miserable day. Ugh. But the where this particular elementary school is located, I'm near the southern end of the gauntlet. So I'm going to head towards the southern end of the gauntlet and then run the gauntlet. But to be honest, I have not been very successful running the gauntlet to get anything. So go and chance it and head towards back to Jack's. That seems to be the best place for right now. But yeah, it's just cold and miserable and just you know, when I first started DoorDashing, it was the summertime and it was nice. Even though I complained about the heat, the sun beating down on me. Now I'm complaining about the cold. That's why spring and fall are the best times. Except our fall, the sun still beat upon you. So anyhow, run the gauntlet and head into Jack's. Hopefully to pick up an order real soon. See you in a little bit. Well, I'm home. Breakfast dash this morning was started off decent, but then it just died. I got my last order. I had waited like almost 40 minutes for it, but then after that, it just nothing. And even the app says, 23-minute wait. So I decided to go ahead and call it and come on home. And only made $23.64 on 4 offers out of 5 because I rejected the first one, that $7 to 12 mile. And that would take me to Lincoln where there was hardly any restaurants. Total dash time, well, let's see, no, it's not on time. Let me get a dash time. Let's see here. Yeah, total dash time's 2 hours and 28 minutes. So, yeah, like I said, it's just a cold and miserable day. Misty, rainy. So, gonna take a break, eat some lunch, and then we'll start off with lunch dash. Hopefully it'll be better than the breakfast. So, in the meantime, we'll see you in a little bit. Well, welcome back. It's now lunchtime. I've already started the app. It looks like it has stopped raining. Still a little cold, but not raining helps a lot. So hopefully there's the lunchtime dash is a lot better than the breakfast one. Boy, that was a weird one. Even though I got 4 orders and rejected one, they were okay and only made $23. But towards the end, they just kind of went dead. Could be, it's just a couple days after Thanksgiving, things are kind of awkward. It's the first couple days of December. Christmas is coming, so don't know. So anyway, like I said, hopefully it's a lot better for the lunch. So anyhow, I'm gonna make my way to Cracker Barrel Hopefully things will pick up. So on to base I go, and hopefully I get an order. See you in a little bit. Well, I started the lunch dash. I've already started the app and heading towards base right now. It is stopped raining. It's cold. It's just hovering around 50. With the when it was raining this morning, it wasn't full rain. Just kind of a drizzle, just ugly. Oh. Take screenshot. Yeah, I don't know if should I take this or not, but it is $11, so yeah, I'm going to take it. Yeah, it's a shop and deliver, $11. That's a bit, but it's like 14 miles, but $11 is $11. When on average, 4 or 5 an order, so hopefully this will get a good start. So anyway, off to Dollar General, I'll go and see you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered a Dollar General order. I delivered here to a mobile home park. I'm going to be honest with you. This mobile home park is really nicely organized. And all the mobile homes are nice and clean with, some are newer than others. Some have nice porches and all that. But this is organized. This is not... When you see some typical mobile home parks, they're just like mobile home, all now. Now these all have their own like big lots, big yards and backyards. Some like a nice little neighborhood. In fact, some of the mobile homes actually look like homes. The double wides and all that. But yeah, it's one of the nicer ones that I've seen. And everybody's got their nice little lot, and then everything's nice and neat. So yeah, but that Dollar General, that was hard. The problem is, for some reason, all Dollar Generals, you can't get a signal inside the building. And then when I stayed outside this, I had to actually take the groceries, walk outside with it, so I could scan the items, because every time I was scanning, it says barcode not recognized, barcode. That's because the app couldn't connect to the database. I asked them permission to walk out there and scan, and then when I got back, I had to walk back out to start the payment system. Gosh darn, that was painful. And I know I had all the right items. They were all original. So anyhow, so I'm slightly out of zone. I am now in the most northwestern corner of the zone. I'm about to get into it. So hopefully I can pick up an order while I'm out here as I'm working my way back to base. But it's $11, 14 miles. The shopping was a little challenge. Plus, one of the reasons I took the shopping challenge is because I'm like 5 out of 6 to be the perfect shopper. I was 91% from finding original items, but the problem is it's very hard out in this market when your only grocery store that DoorDash is allowed to use is Dollar General. And Dollar General is not famous for keeping items in stock. Now the one I went to was a Dollar General market, so they had a little bit more frozen foods and fresh fruits and stuff like that. Almost like a miniature grocery store. Very small. They had more choices available than a normal Dollar General. So that's the way it is out here in the rural area. The only grocery stores, you talk about the food deserts. You've heard that term? Well, out here in rural countries, there's food deserts. That's why Dollar General and eventually Dollar General Market does very well out here, because, it's 15 miles to Walmart out here, to any close Walmart. So a lot of people do their grocery stores, unless it's a local, grocery store. You're not going to be able to get groceries, or the essentials, I should say. You still have to go to like Walmart to get a lot of stuff, but to get like every day, to go get you some milk, eggs, the essentials, bread, stuff like that normal items, that you get. Because I know how it is. My father was from Mississippi, and when he was in Vietnam, my mother and I, we lived at his hometown in a little house. But of course, back then there were no Walmarts of that kind. So the only grocery store was there was only one, and it was in the middle of downtown, which was about 5-6 miles away. And of course, there was another so-called grocery store, but that was in the next town. But my uncle, he ran a gas station, but he had in his gas station a small one cooler. They carry a few gallons of milk, eggs, and cheese, and he had, of course, inside his. He was kind of the precursor to the mini mart you see like today at gas stations. But everybody in the surrounding area came to him to get bread, milk, bologna, ham, sandwich meat. In fact, my uncle he took a lot of on credit, so to speak. We'd have these notepads, the old receipt pads you see when you go to a restaurant, the waitress, writing down the order, those receipt pads. We had like hundreds of those, but he had people's names on there, and they just keep a running tab, and they would just come here every once in a while, come in and pay him, as much as they could. So my uncle was the lifeline to a lot of people on groceries and stuff like that. This is way back, and this is out in rural Mississippi. This is out in this is in Philadelphia, Mississippi. This is way before the Choctaw Indians got their casinos, and now that whole area is just built up around the casinos. But this is way back, in the late '60s, early '70s. We lived out. We lived out to when Dad was in Vietnam. This is from '68, '69, that type of thing. So, yeah, that's a store. Little grocery, gas stations were little grocery stores back then. So, anyway, well, I'm back in the zone. Hopefully I can pick something up out here. But the only thing really out here is the Jacks. I've been to this Jacks a couple times on DoorDashing. But yeah, it's this area reminds me so much of rural Mississippi. Well, this is rural Alabama. They're twins and sort of that speaking. So anyhow, making my way back to base. Hopefully pick up an order. So see you in a little bit. Well, I've been waiting at base for about 10 minutes, and picked up an Arby's order. So on the Arby's and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered Arby's to the local church, but that was a strange order. That's because when I got there, they said, well, they were out of Dr. Pepper. Can you contact the customer? So I sent a text, telling them, waited. Even made a call and went to voicemail. I said, she's not answering. So I made the executive decision that instead of Dr. Pepper, she was getting Diet Dr. Pepper. And so, and when I went to deliver to the church here, you know, this what waiting window there, Lay saw it, and then she didn't bother come, you know, take the food. And I had to knock on the window, and it took her a while to unlock the window. And I told her to tell the customer that I had to pick Dr. Pepper instead of Diet Dr. Pepper instead of Dr. Pepper. So she was kind of nonchalant about it, you know. So I don't know. People are strange these days, you know. So anyway, so it wasn't too far away. It was just the next exit down from the main exit where I get off. So just going up to the next exit. It's just a couple miles up, and then back to Cracker Barrel base and see if I can pick up another order. So see you in a little bit. Been at base for a while, about 10 minutes, and then finally got a Zaxby order. You know, it's not the best order in the world, but it's over $10, but it's over 10 miles. So I'm in Lincoln with this one. But you know, like I said, orders are few in between. You know, you take what you get. Of course, I'm not taking the really bad ones, but you know, if it's over $10, you know, and it's mileage is within that, I'm going to take it. So here I am at Zaxby's, and then I'll go on to the customer. So see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Zaxby's, of all places, to Domino's up in Lincoln. It's in the area where there's the Taco Bell I picked up before, and the Jack's. In fact, if you remember, that's the Taco Bell where I ran into the police officer again that gave me the ticket. So anyway, heading back to base. Might be a little trouble. I noticed that there was an accident. It looked like a car just right off the Pell City exit from the other side. It looks like a car ran into the big interstate sign. They had several police cars and a fire truck there. So hopefully people are smart enough to move over. So anyway, back to base, and hopefully pick up another order. So see you in a little bit. Yeah, things are really, really slow. Wait another 30 minutes, and now I got a Dollar General order. So another shop and deliver, different Dollar General. Hopefully my internet works better, because it was bad at that last one. I think I know where this one. It's not this Dollar General is closer, a lot closer, and of course everybody and their brother are coming by here from passing Cracker Barrel. Today's just been a strange day. It's been wet and cold, just miserable all day this morning. This afternoon it's just kind of slow. I said I had the very first order I got this morning was very bad, $7 for 12 miles. The other ones are just hovering on bad. Yeah, I'll probably get some comments on it that I'm not making money, I'm doing it for free, I'm wearing out my car. You know, like I tell people, beggars can't be choosers. I like to see people who live in bigger cities who can afford to do a lot of declines and get the, you know, $2 per mile offers. I like to see you come here and try to do that. You know, a population of 13,000 and nothing but rural country around. So but you know, they mean well. I do. I take, you know, I take their advice. I have done better, you know, to reject the really bad orders, but like you said, you have to know your market, and unfortunately, the market sucks. So anyway, on the Dollar General and then the customer. See you in a little bit.
Continue on Highway 174 West for 3 miles.
Well, I just delivered that Dollar General order, and I picked up another one. In fact, I'm going back to the very first one that had trouble with the internet. But, you know, I'm halfway there. I forgot to take a picture. So it was like, you know, $7 for 7 miles. But, you know, I've got an hour left in my dash, you know, so trying to get as much offers I can get during this time. So that's all I've been. It's been very slow, very slow. I've had, you know, 30-minute waits and 40-minute waits. Very unusual. Never had to really wait that long on lunch dashes. Well, I have, but not recently. So anyway, on to another Dollar General. I think this is my third one today. So on the Dollar General and then the customer. See you in a little bit.
Turn right onto Cottage Lane.
Well, I was able to deliver that Dollar General. It actually was to a different Dollar General in the Unville area, but I couldn't connect to their Wi-Fi. But I was able to keep a signal in there, and it was only like 4 items, and the drop-off wasn't very far.
Take the next right onto Cottage Lane, then turn left onto Highway 174.
But I picked up a Subway order here locally in Odenville. So I've got about 30 minutes left in my dash, so I'm going to go to the local Subway. So on to there and to the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Subway order. Destination was not very far from the Subway. Very nice neighborhood. In fact, I recognize the neighborhood. This is the neighborhood that I delivered a Walmart Spark order. It was one of the first ones I did, like on a Monday or Tuesday. In fact, I think one of the houses just right over here. So yeah, it was that was an experience. That was quite a, you know, nobody came to the door, but I delivered everything. It was like, I can't remember, it was like, you know, 5-6 bags. But anyway, I've got exactly 12 minutes left in my dash. Slightly out of zone. I'm still in Odenville, which is the extreme northwest of the zone that I'm in. Odenville is very rare that I go to Odenville because it's usually Pell City, Riverside, or in Lincoln. But if you go the opposite direction, head towards Moody. It's funny, Moody is not in my zone, but Odenville is. Odenville is north of Moody. So, yeah, this is it's very strange, and you would think that Moody and Leeds are a lot closer to Birmingham, and so I think Moody and Leeds and Springville, close to Trustwell, are also all in that zone somewhat. So anyway, heading back into zone. Maybe I'll get another order within the next 10 minutes from around here. If not, I'll be heading home. I do need to make a quick errand before I head home. So either way, either I get another order or I'm going home. So see you in a little bit. Well, I'm finally home. The very interesting dash sent me everywhere, but it was slow. It was slow. To give you some idea, I only got 6 deliveries. I usually have a little bit more than that, but it's not too bad as far as money wise. For the summary though, I made $57.32 for the lunch dash. Once again, I had 6 deliveries for a total dash time of 3 hours and 49 minutes. I went ahead and canceled into the dash early because I was close to our old house. I needed to take care of something there. So yeah, it was very interesting. Of the 6, 3 of them were Dollar General shopping, and all of them were almost $10 except for the Arby's one. So that's greater than $10, and when you only get very few orders, it helps. So for the day, I made just a little over $80 for the day. Not too bad. So anyhow, but yeah, this has been tough. It was cold and rainy this morning, then stopped raining, but still cold. But yeah, it was kind of a strange day. Just the worst part was Dollar General's trying to get the signal to work inside, and half the time I couldn't. Now they do have a Wi-Fi you connect to, but I couldn't connect to it. They kept saying the hotspot's not right. So anyhow, well, hope you enjoyed my venture and my misadventures today that I had. If you like the video, please select like. And if you enjoy what I'm doing with the channel, I urge you to subscribe so you can see the future videos and when you get notified. I appreciate everyone that has joined. I appreciate the comments, even though the ones that people think I'm crazy for taking a lot of these orders. But I know where the hearts are. They mean well. They may not express it well, but they mean well. So, but I do appreciate all comments, criticisms, everything. And so I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to do this again tomorrow. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you later.